Hello everyone, my name is Chia. I'm studying in SJKC Pei. Today I would like to tell a story, The Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl that lived in a village near a big forest. Her grandmother had made her a beautiful red cloak with a big red hood, which she wore every time she went outside, and so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said, "Grandma isn't feeling very well. Would you take this basket of food through the forest to her cottage?" "Yes, Mother," said Little Red Riding Hood. "I would love to see Grandma." She put on her red cloak and she put up her red hood, and she took the basket of food into the forest. "Remember," her mother called after her, "don't talk to any strangers on the way." Little Red Riding Hood didn't have to worry about getting lost in the woods, because she knew the way to Grandma's house very well, but along the way she saw some beautiful wild flowers growing beyond the path. "I bet Grandma will really love these," she said to herself, and she stopped to pick a few. "Hello, little girl," he said in a deep, growling voice from behind her. Little Red Riding Hood was very startled. She spins around to see a big bad wolf standing in the shadows between two trees. "Hello," said Little Red Riding Hood. She didn't know the wolf was bad, and she had already forgotten her mother's words about talking to strangers. "Where are you going on this fine day?" asked the big bad wolf. "I'm going to my grandmother's cottage on the other side of the forest," said Little Red Riding Hood. "She isn't feeling very well, so I'm bringing her this basket of food and some flowers." "What a sweet girl you are," said the big bad wolf. He smiled and showed his mouth full of sharp teeth. The big bad wolf was quite hungry, and he was not interested in the basket of food. "I had better be going," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Bye!" and she skipped off down the path. The big bad wolf's stomach grumbled and growled with hunger, and suddenly he had an idea. As quick as he could, he ran all the way to Grandma's cottage. The sneaky wolf opened the door very quietly and found Grandma sleeping in her bed. He picked up the old woman, opened his great big mouth, and he swallowed and pulled Grandma in one go. Then the big bad wolf climbed into bed and pulled the blanket up to his chin. He put on Grandma's glasses and nightcap. He waited for the little girl to arrive with her flowers and the basket of food. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, she opened the door quickly and found Grandma lying in bed. "Hello, Grandma," she said. "Mother told me you weren't feeling well, so I brought some food and some flowers. Do you like them?" "What a sweet little girl you are," said the wolf in his fake grandma's voice. "Come closer, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood took a step closer, and she noticed something that looked a little different about Grandma. "My," she said, "what big eyes you have, Grandma." "Oh, the better to see you with," said the big bad wolf. "Come closer, my dear." The Little Red Riding Hood took another step closer again. "My," she said, "what big ears you have, Grandma." "Oh, the better to hear you with," replied the wolf. "Come closer, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood took one more step closer. "My," she said, "what big teeth you have, Grandma," she said in surprise. "Oh, the better to eat you with," growled the big bad wolf. He jumped out of the bed, and as he opened his great big mouth, Little Red Riding Hood shrieked and tried to run. The hungry wolf picked her up and swallowed Little Red Riding Hood in just one go. Outside the cottage, the woodman happened walking through the forest when he heard Little Red Riding Hood shriek of surprise. He hurried inside and he saw the wolf with his huge, round,
belly.
The woodman grabbed the big bad wolf, turned it upside down, and shook it by its feet. Little Red Riding Hood came tumbling by its mark, and Grandma followed. The woodman and the Little Red Riding Hood chased the big bad wolf out of their cottage, out of the forest, and over the hill. The big bad wolf ran for its life and was never seen again. Little Red Riding Hood learned her lesson, and she never ever talked to strangers again.